You want to talk about it? You want to move on?
No, I tell you. So
we can move on.
I basically got myself traded from Houston. I basically got myself traded from Houston. I called Daryl.
Did you really get yourself traded from Houston, CP3, or did Daryl Morey do some fucked up shit?
And I called the coach, Dan Tony, to tell him somebody could come end up playing on the team with us. But what happened was Daryl called me while I was in Vegas, right? And what's crazy is Shea. I seen Shea in Vegas. So the night that started everything is when Kawhi went to the Clippers, and then Paul George got traded to the Clippers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Russ was still in OKC, and Shea went to
he went to OKC for the trade. Yep.
Yeah, for the trade. So I actually talked to Russ that night, but then I seen Shea in Vegas. When I seen Shea, I dapped up Shea. I was like, Shea, man, it's gonna be good for you, man. You're gonna get to hoop. You're gonna get to do your thing in OKC.
Yeah.
Damn. The whole time CP3 was talking to his teammate.
So then I go over to the gym to work out. I'm in Vegas, and Daryl called me. Daryl was like, hey, Chris, I was just calling you because we was trying to figure out if we could possibly get Russ to, what's his name, to Houston. He was like, I was just calling you to, what'd he say? Just to make sure you wouldn't want to go to OKC. I was like, no, why? I done moved 15 people to Houston. And he was like, okay, I was just making sure. He was like, I would never trade you to somewhere you didn't want to go because you chose to come to us from the Clippers, right?
Okay.
Like I chose to go to Houston from LA.
Yes, you did. Okay.
So that's what he had said to me. So then I go down to Peach Jam. I'm in Atlanta at Peach Jam, and you know Colin Sexton.
Mm-hmm.
Colin had came down to Peach Jam to work out with me, and I'm at the house chilling, and I was on the phone with Jada, and next thing you know, bloop, it said that I was getting traded to what's his name, and then my phone started ringing, and it was Daryl calling.
You were getting traded to OKC.
Yeah, so I ain't know. Then Daryl called me. Phone started ringing. It was Daryl called me. And Daryl, like I told you, I'm very matter of fact. Daryl was like, hey, man, it just moved so fast. You know, that's what he said, it moved so fast. I said, it's all good. I said, I just want you to tell me one thing. You said you weren't going to trade me, right, to OKC. He said, yep, I said that, but I said, that's all I need to know. Yeah.
Well, that's that.
Yeah. Okay.
But that happens.
Yeah.
Right. So you
unfortunately.
Just,
but it happens.
But it's part of the business.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the business or whatnot. So
I think that's important to share because athletes who listen to this podcast, they need to understand, even Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers, it's a part of the business for them as well, right? What someone tells you probably ain't gonna hold true. Right, like you know, I left Miami for a lot of reasons because you buy into what people tell you, and then when it doesn't show up in the way that you wanted to, now your feelings are hurt.
Yeah,
but there's a difference, D-Wade. Pat Riley looked you in the face and told you he's not going to give you that money that you wanted. See, that's the difference. Pat Riley has the balls and respect for you to look you in your eye and let you know what's what. Daryl Morey's not like that. He'll pretend like he's siding with you, and then all of a sudden, when your back's turned, this guy pulls off another deal. That's been the reputation that's been following Morey from Houston all the way to Philly.
It's that, and I think when you've been playing for a while or whatnot, and you sort of understand the business, right? Like you know, like when you played for a while, like you know how the trade calls happen. Mm-hmm. You know how everybody always say, it just moves so fast. Like we sort of know how it goes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got agents, we know the phone calls that happen, and then there's a whole trade call that's gotta happen for
What about Chris?
Yeah, I think it's just hard. I think it's hard conversations that have to be had, and you know, what they say, time heals, you know, certain things or whatnot, but you learn.
So that was example number 2 of Daryl Morey kind of tap dancing around his words. Not really being a trustworthy person, even though it's all business. You still gotta look a man in his eyes and let him know what's going down, what you need, what's gonna happen. And this same exact scenario played out once again with Patrick Beverley being on the Philadelphia 76ers as Daryl Morey tried to deny to Patrick Beverley about trading him to the Milwaukee Bucks. Straight up to his face, too.
So we playing in Denver, and I hit Daryl Morey with the, hey, I'm getting traded. You know. No, not you. No, of course not.
So he's a liar.
But you gotta think, you feel me? Like, you know, it's probably a bigger move that's about to happen. The uncertainty if, you know, you want to win right now. You know, a player like me, I want to win right now. So, and I get a chance to be with Doc too, and my coach Rex. Ooh, it's lit. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's looking like Pat Bev is back to his Clipper days with Doc Rivers. But hey, at the end of the day, Daryl Morey, too many fallouts. And I don't know why he keeps denying what he does. It's part of the business. The players know. It's almost like the military. Guys are going to have to move from place to place. The players understand that, hey, I could be traded any day. There's just something about the heavy analytical GMs and coaches, especially in the mid-2010s. The Sam Hinkie, Daryl Moreys, and the various coaches that have been around the league. That era of the NBA has had some of the biggest blowouts we've ever seen because there was never a plan B. And an underestimated thing about the guys just being heavy on analytics, the data doesn't normally work if the younger generation of kids that are coming up right before they get into the league, if they're working on different aspects of their game. So there could be another generation where their ball handling skills are even higher. Maybe their three-point shooting is not as good. So how are you going to try to run the same type of game? You have to adapt according to what generation is coming in. Right now, in the beginning stages of the 2020 era, we see the rise of the skilled big man. So then the data would have to start to skew according to how to make that big man more efficient, what to put around him. Nothing about the basketball game should be what can we take away from the game. The same way Daryl Morey said no mid-ranges. Why would you begin to squeeze out your options when the whole floor is available? And just that ideology alone in present day today is already outdated, as the floor is so spaced out with all the brand new talent coming in, being skilled from ball handling to shooting. You got to guard guys everywhere throughout the floor, and you add on top of that illegal defense. Now you have enough space to actually take mid-range shots at a higher efficiency clip. But at the end of the day, the heavy data approach is missing the human aspect to it when dealing with a game that's based off a team concept. And for that, your personnel management got to be on point. And you got to take it into consideration. And that's something that this heavy data approach has always been missing, especially the psyche in the playoffs when the referees begin to tuck in their whistles and guys begin to feel the pressure of the game as the floor tends to shrink and the pace begins to slow down.